I'm really excited to welcome actress, entrepreneur, Gabrielle Union, and then we have the CEO of Range Media Partners, Peter Micelli.
Hello.
Thank you both for being here. How's Cannes so far?
So far, so good. We hit the ground running.
Yeah.
It's hot.
It's hot, but
hot.
this view kind of makes up for it. There's a nice breeze up here.
We're excited about this 2-hour session. We have a lot to cover.
That's not on brand.
It's going to be great. You guys get comfortable. It's going to be fine.
Well, we do move pretty quickly, so I want to just jump right in. Peter, you recently launched a talent management brand strategy group, Range Media. Can you tell folks a little bit about what it is that you do and why you're so different?
Yeah, Range is, we founded it, a number of us, in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. Historically, when there's crisis, it creates great opportunity. And it was really centered on that we could see that AI and the social media platforms were going to change entertainment and media forever. And it was an undeniable reality. And how could we build a company that would help talent take advantage of their full global platform in all businesses as this shift was coming? And so for us, it was really important to not deny or have our head in the sand about the massive change that social media platforms and AI will impact across the board. And then where do you position talent to benefit from the shift? And that's why we founded Range.
And one of the things I've heard you say is it's talent to content to commerce.
To commerce, yeah. So, the reality of it was entertainment forever was predicated on you would make a piece of content as a studio, talent would be involved with it, and that piece of content would live in what was called a windowing strategy. It would go from NBC to TNT to syndication, or would go from the theaters to DVDs to video on demand to HBO, and you would benefit if you were an actor that had a piece of that content. And what's really changed is the streamers in 2.0 have moved to kind of owning the content in perpetuity and no interest in windowing strategies anymore. And so it's limiting the long-term value of content. And then you have this enormous force, which is the social media platforms coming in, gobbling up a lot of time. I'm in my 50s. I know nobody believes that, but it's true. And it is, even guys my age are spending more time on the social platforms than they are in film and TV. And talk to a 20-year-old, it's not even close. And so for us, it was how do we restore equity positions and opportunities for talented people that have community, that audiences trust them and are like, oh, I'm in alignment with what Gab believes in. What does she like to wear? What does she like to see? Like, I'm curious about that. And the data we look at is that celebrities that are authentic, and Gab is one of the most, their community trusts them so much, and they have more impact on moving community than any corporation does. And that's a fundamental part of the talent to content to commerce. So as we are doing content plays, what are the businesses and how do we build community so you can transact and move with that community?
Yeah, I'd like to toss it to you. You are kind of like the perfect example of this business strategy. Talk to us about your pivot. You had a great career as an actress, and now you're starting to focus more on building your own businesses and brands. You have the baby care line, you have the hair care line, and it seems to really align with your life, and it seems like you are the consumer of your products.
Yeah, no, exactly. Just to be completely transparent, as talent, your earning potential, your hotness, it ebbs and flows, but those bills are consistent. The bank is so weird about wanting their money every month for that mortgage. I had to come up with other ways to sustain myself. And I don't know how many other people in this room, not only do I have to contribute to my own household, but in our family, it takes a village. So if one person has $100, we all have $100. So I have to figure out how to stretch my dollar to cover more people. And being an actress alone was not going to cut it. And when I realized I had the opportunity to share all the things that I love, if I love Lancome Juicy Tubes, we brought those back, I'm going to tell you guys about it. I don't want it to be a hard sell. It's just I'm sharing information. If a drug helps me with hot flashes, I want to be like, are y'all hot too? Well, this is what I'm doing tonight to, not sweat through my clothes at night. And so when we had the opportunity to build brands, I wanted to build a brand that actually reflected my morals, my values, and that contributes to my peace. So when we had, our last child, we wanted to help create a baby care line that focused on melanated babies, because our skincare needs are different, our eczema looks different. We wanted to create a brand that met the needs of our own community. When I created a hair care line, I wanted a hair care line that worked, that I could find easily, that wasn't going to break the bank. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. Like, hey, we have another Cornhusker here? Yeah, go Big Red. Listen, you already know a Nebraskan, because we're always going to lead with, go Big Red. It's true. But I wanted to create a line of things that my own family could afford and find. I don't want to be intimidated walking into a beauty store, knowing I'm on a budget, but needing certain things to make sure that my hair was going to be, well looked after. There's not going to be any sketchy ingredients. You're not going to have this crazy ingredient story that's actually working against you. And I don't want to pay $1 billion for it. So that was really just sort of expanding on the people that like me, that have liked me doing, as an actress, to see if that can translate into other things. And I just take that, really seriously.
One word that you use that I'm hearing a lot is community. So talk to me about how you continue to build trust with community.
Telling the truth. Back in the day, you had publicists that controlled everything that came out of your mouth, and you had to stick to a company line. And you're going to be the girl next door, and you're going to be the, this person, but that may not be who you actually are. And you're seeing it, in certain high-profile cases, where who you are really doesn't match who you've said you are. And now that you have social media, and basically everyone's a journalist, because we all have phones, we all have camera phones, we can all be like, oh my God, like last night at dinner, we were there with Serena Williams and Candace Parker, and people are like, oh my God, in the flesh, and they want to know who you really are. Well, if that doesn't match what you're saying when you have a microphone, you're in trouble. So I just got in the habit of telling the truth, and it's worked out. So because people trust me.
And where do you go with that? Like, how do you break through? Where do you take your truth?
Well, I don't take advantage. And I'm going to lead with the truth. Like, I'm here to share with you something that I've learned, or a product that I like, but I'm not selling you a bill of goods.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to farm myself out to every brand with a checkbook as their living doll, right? I'm going to show up authentically as myself. I'm not going to lie, and I'm going to tell you why I like something. If you are interested in that same thing, awesome. But if not, I'm not going to lie and change my language and change what I'm saying to hard sell you on something I don't even like or use. That's just not. That's not how you grow community.
And we're in a time now where there's part of what AI is doing. It is seeding a lack of trust, and you don't know. You certainly see it in the news, where you could watch MSNBC one day and Fox 5 minutes later and literally think you're on two different planets. And there is so much now where people, a lot of what's happening is to drive fear and anger. And so where people are now, and again, the data we look at is the affinity towards another human being that you trust becomes so much more relevant than a corporation telling you something. And people are so desperate for truth and transparency. And when you feed them that and they feel an authenticity to it, they just put their defenses down. And there's an openness. And we're all looking for, we call them filters of quality, because there's so much clutter coming at you right now from every direction. Buy this. There was beef tallow for men's faces. It just got like every time I opened my Instagram, it was like, get beef tallow, you're going to live forever.
I totally got that on TikTok.
Me too. I did too. And I bought it.
Beef tallow Target on it.
Yeah, it's crazy. With honey apparently too. And so you're now, how do you deal with all the noise that's coming at you? It's like, it's crazy. And then you go, well, what are your filters of quality? How do you make choices as a consumer, as a content viewer? Like, how do you make choices? You're trying to find a couple things that triangulate, oh, you're going to like this. And that is going to be an enormous business in and of itself, is triangulating filters of quality that you trust, that point you to things that you're likely going to have a good experience with. And that is going to be that's a big revolution that's coming. It's unorganized now, but it will get more organized, and it will be something quite spectacular for talent.
How much do you think corporate values matter?
For me, huge. I Google everybody. and whatever you've done, it's going to come up.
I will vouch that she does that. Yes, yes.
No, I do background checks on everybody. I'm not going to sign up for something because you've given me the whole song and dance, and I'm like, okay, that sounds good. I need to know who's running the show. I look at the board of directors. I look at the company makeup. If you're just using me as a black shield because you want to pretend to be diverse, and then I go meet with the company, and I'm like, where to go? Where to go? Oh, you were just, you're selling me a bill of goods to try to get me to be the face of. We have to be in complete alignment, morals, values. You have to walk it like you talk it.
Yep.
I don't want to hear a bunch of lip service. I don't want to, I don't want to hear from you only in February. I want to know that you're true to this, not new to this.
And I would imagine that your audiences, the community that you built, are doing the same thing, right?
Yes.
And that's your reputation on the line if you're to align yourself with something that isn't
Yeah.
values-based. So I want to talk about how, like, the challenges that you're hearing about and seeing. So you all are around fellow business leaders, fellow CEOs. What are some of the biggest challenges they're facing right now?
Money. Money. How to get it, how to sustain it, how to find new sources of it. You can get in the door. That part isn't hard, but how do you stay in? I'm often turning to Range with my new business ideas, and I'm like, how are we going to fund this? And they're like, yeah, the first round, that's easy enough. People
Right.
are interested. But it's like when you start to grow, how do you sustain it? How do you do the second round, third round, fourth? Like, how do you sustain it? How do you build it? Because, of course, you come out the gate, you're doing gangbusters, and then you have to scale. Mm-hmm. And it's like, where's that money coming from? And sometimes the well goes a little dry, or the well gets a little shady.
It's a really tough thing. Money's expensive right now because of the interest rates, obviously, but it's also, you have to have a real plan. And so many people start without a business plan that's really thought through, an analysis of the sector, how crowded it is, your impact on the sector. Then you've got to find operators that will wake up at 3 a.m. stressed out about the smallest detail. Mm-hmm. And then you have to have the right capital. And and then you find strategic partners that'll help you. And all of those things become a part of a launch of a business. And if you don't have each piece really thought out, we see it at some of the other representation places. The talent will come and say, I have an idea for this, and it just kind of goes in the ether. And unless you have a system in which you are going to write a business plan, you are going to source great operators, you are going to find the capital, and you have a plan, most things won't happen.
Okay, we're almost getting the hook here. We like to finish with one fun thing. Okay. First, I have to just ask you about Bring It On, right?
Yeah.
The fact that I'm up here with the captain of the Clovers
Listen,
is blowing
ISIS
me
lives.
away.
ISIS is alive.
So what can you tell us about that?
We've been working on a sequel. How do we expand the Bring It On universe? It has become its own folklore, basically. And we're very, very close. Hopefully there'll be a big announcement very, very soon.
We're ready.
And that we're going to bring back some of the OGs and also expand the universe. And we put a lot of thought, literally 10, 12 years of ideas getting shot down, being in alignment with different studios, streamers, and now we've got a great home, and it's very exciting.
The world is ready for Bring It On.
We're ready.
We're ready.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm just going to smell of Ben Gay trying to do Cheers at 52, but I'm going to try to work it out for you.
Okay, one fun thing. If you could summarize your brand, your company, in one word, what would it be? You could use a handful of words if that helps. I know.
Loving.
Loving.
Aww. You guys are very loving for, for Hollywood people. They're very loving without being too loving. They're like too much love. For us, I think it would be effective. Effective. We're great listeners, We're not like, our way is the highway. Like, we're going to force feed you this. And they're like, no one asked for this, lady. We listen, and we're effective at delivering on what we say we're going to do.
Great. We'll leave it there. Thank you both so much for
No,
being
thank
here.
you,
Thank
guys.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
That concludes our programming. We hope you enjoy the rest of your can. Catch us. We're around at Axios all week, so hopefully we see some of you again soon.